Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Miles High Club podcast. I am your host, Miles. This is episode number 59. Episode number 59. I hope all is well. I'm going to start this episode with a rest in peace to Young Dolph. If you don't know who Young Dolph is an American rapper who yesterday he was shot and killed in Memphis. He's from Memphis. He was revisiting his hometown / city. Went to his favourite spot where he likes to pick up Makeda's cookies. I think it's called Makeda's butter cookies. He literally uploaded a video last week or some point outside the cookie place saying, yo, whenever I come back home, this is where I come to. I guess the wrong person saw that, found out when he was next coming back into town, and unfortunately shot and killed him. Main reason why I'm talking about this story is human beings need to do better. Listen, if there is a crime, this is where I stand. If there is a crime going on and you are not willing to physically put yourself in that crime to stop or help whatever's going on, then yes, record. And the only reason I say record is because look at things like George Floyd. There's been numerous amount of times where someone recording has either saved someone else's life or has either proved something to the wider eyes or the wider audience of what's going on. So the way I feel about it, i.e., if you see someone getting attacked, beat up, mugged, robbed, ripped off, sexually assaulted in any type of way, I would personally say physically get involved to stop this. I don't expect that from all humans. I know a lot of people have that fight or flight emotion, but if you see something wrong happening and you don't physically want to insert yourself into that situation for whatever reason, but you pull out your phone to record, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to judge anyone for not getting involved or for getting involved in illegal crimes that are happening if you're there to stop it. But when it's happened and it's all done and said, the reason why I'm going on this long tangent is basically there were people recording, not the shootout, nothing. Well, I don't know about a shootout, but not the shooting itself, but people pulled up to the spot and were recording after the incident. And it's only on one of the playbacks of one of the videos that I saw on Instagram because there was a warning for it. But the people recording are recording just after the shooting to the point where you can see someone's arm hanging out of the window of the cookie shop. Assuming it's Young Dolph's arm, because I haven't heard about anyone else dying. The only person that's been reported dead, shot and dead, was Young Dolph. So clearly he's just been shot. He's there. I don't know if he's still alive, if he's dying at that point, but his arm is literally hanging out of the broken window where the bullets went through. And people are just recording it like, yo, it's Young Dolph. Yo, someone's been shot, someone's been killed. I know it's the time. I know it's the time we live in. I know it's the time we live in right now. This happened before when a few of me and my friends, we all went to Coventry for a weekend event. My little brother was coming to meet me to come drop a few things off. Now, because my little brother was coming to drop a few things off, as we were chilling outside our hotel waiting for him, a fight broke out between two girls. And initially, some of my friends went to start recording, and I was like, no. I was like, yo, we need to break this fight up because I'm not having police come here because my little brother's on his way to drop some things off, and we can't have police pulling up when no, we have to stop it right now. So we had to pull these girls apart, sent them their separate ways, and carried on. I'm not saying I'm a good Samaritan. I had completely selfish reasons for stopping that fight. Otherwise, I might have just let them get on with it until the fight had finished. But yeah, rest in peace, Young Dolph. You sickos need to find something better to do. Like, if it's ongoing and you can't physically put yourself in, then yes, record all the evidence you can if you're going to pass it on to the police and not just share it on WhatsApp and social media. But to those that just pull up after and just to record something, like the amount of YouTube videos that have got, like, the thumbnail is of the window smashed, is of the crime scene. And the video's like Young Dolph shot on live, someone shot live at scene. And I'm just like, yo, you lot are disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. But let's bring the conversation back to a high. Britney Spears has been freed from her conservatorship after 13 years. Woo! I think this was yesterday? No, this was 5 days ago. So congrats to Britney. Well done. You are now free. There were celebrations in the street. I think it happened in LA. There were celebrations, people letting off pink confetti, pink balloons. For those, if this is your first time watching the Miles High Club podcast and you didn't see my episode, I spoke about this a few weeks ago, I believe. But yeah, for those that didn't know, in 2008 when Britney went crazy, so I'm sure, depending on how old you are, you probably remember Britney versus the paparazzi and Britney getting emotionally stressed by paparazzi and shaving her head and all that. So when all this happened back in 2008, I believe it was, her dad actually filed for, I'm trying to see if I can find it, but her dad actually filed for a conservatorship, which basically means that, here we go, yeah, he petitioned the court to have control over his daughter's personal life and finances. That was in 2008. It was meant to be temporary due to her public mental health struggles. So it was meant to be a temporary arrangement, but it was made permanent by the end of 2008. 13 years later, that conservatorship went on, which means her dad controlled, listen, this is what her dad had control of. Her money, as in the money that she had, how she spent that money, where she spent that money, her own body. So if she wanted a baby, her dad could say no, and legally she wouldn't be able to, it's crazy, but yeah, a baby, whether she can go on tours, what work she can and can't do. Like, her dad basically had control of her whole life. 13 years later, she's finally freed from that. Hashtag Freed Britney is now a big thing. Again, if you're not following this story, I wasn't following it, but the thing that brought it to my attention was Britney's dancing on Instagram. I saw one clip of Britney dancing on Instagram, and the caption was, yo, someone needs to help Britney, she's wild. Something ignorant like that. And it's only because I was like, oh, Britney Spears has Instagram. Clicked on the Instagram and started reading all the comments. And then I started going through all of her little dancing videos, and people were saying that's how she's asking for help. And people would put stuff in the comments like, wear red if you're not okay. And then the next video she'd be wearing red, and she'd be doing certain hand signals. And she was doing a lot without saying anything to get the help, to get people's help. And then I think it came out a few weeks ago that her dad was like, you know what, I'm gonna stand down from this conservatorship. I'm no longer gonna run for it. Considering originally when they wanted this to be cancelled, he wanted someone to pay him $1 million, and then he would scrap it like, yo, this is meant to be your own daughter and you're here milking it. Boy, what families will do. But like I said, this is good news. So Britney is now free. She's no longer tied under the conservatorship. Her dad is no longer in control of her personal life and finances. She called it the best day ever, which I can't imagine. I'm happy for Britney. There we go. What can I say? And again, I just want to, if Britney, bear with me now, just bear with me, because Britney was, yo, it's Britney, bitch. Britney was Britney. I just want to know if Britney never went through the mental health issues she did in 2008, and Britney just carried on that, on the rocket that she was riding to stardom. Who would be bigger today? Beyonce or Britney Spears? Listen, don't come at me. I don't want to hear it. I'm a Beyonce fan, okay? I am part of the Beehive. I have all of her music, but it's a question I feel like we need to ask, because at one point, Britney Spears was the biggest thing worldwide. Worldwide, it was Hit Me Baby One More Time. It's Britney, bitch. I don't know what else to say to show you just how powerful and how on top Britney Spears was. But the thing happened in 2008, and then it just went downhill from there. Genuine question. If that never happened, who would be bigger? Britney Spears or Beyonce? Again, two different realms of music, but they're both going to meet in that pop box that they both tick. They would both end up meeting there. Beyonce is massive in the, listen, I don't think Britney's not going to be bigger than Beyonce in the black community. No matter what happened, Britney wouldn't have been bigger than Beyonce in the black community. Beyonce is not going to be bigger than Britney. It's Britney, bitch, Britney. Beyonce's not going to be bigger than her in the white community. But if you just take it to pop and just like who the queen of pop would have been, I feel like Britney Spears, she definitely would have given Beyonce a run for her money. Would she have been bigger? I wouldn't argue with someone that says Britney would have been bigger. It's just one of those questions I had on my head. But like I said, well done, Britney. Moving on, what else is happening out there? Here's an interesting one for you all. I pay attention. I say this all the time. I always pay attention to what happens in other countries, because sometimes it's like, right, this country will do it as a test, and then we'll sprinkle it out worldwide. So, Austria they're in Europe, yeah. Austria, it's a European country. Austria has confirmed that lockdown for all unvaccinated people from Monday. So I can't remember if this was last week, so it's already in place, or if it was this week. I think it was this week. I think it was earlier this week it happened. But yeah, Austria is to put millions of unvaccinated people in lockdown. So the move means unvaccinated people older than 12 will be banned from leaving their homes from midnight on Sunday, except for basic activities, including working, food shopping, or going through a walk. Thought to impact roughly 2 million individuals. The restrictions will allow people who have not had the vaccine to leave their home for a coronavirus jab. This apparently comes after the Netherlands imposed a partial lockdown earlier this week as well, becoming the first Western nation to do so since the summer, amid fears of a new wave of infections on the continent. Again, if you are in Austria, so Austria has one of the lowest vaccination rates in Europe with only 65% of people double jabbed. They can now be fined up to £1,240 if they do not adhere to the restrictions. Listen. They are doing the only reason I knew about this is because I took interest in it because my boy, I'm going to bring him on here. I'm going to get him on here next week. I don't know if he wants to talk about it, but I'm going to ask him the questions because my boy Jack I don't know anyone personally that has been affected more by COVID than him. Not in a serious way, like no one's died that I'm aware of, but just in terms of his day-to-day lifestyle, what he was doing, how he was living, how he was earning a living, all flipped upside down and just fucked over completely by COVID. This has now come in for Austria. So now imagine if they brought that to England. If you're unvaccinated, you can only leave the house to go to work, to go shopping, or to go for a walk, or to go and get a jab. And that's it. Meanwhile, the rest of the vaccinated people just get to live life as if they want. Like everything was pre-COVID, which, again, I completely disagree with. I disagree with all the people that are like, oh, if you don't get vaccinated, you're selfish, you're stupid. Nope. Well, I mean, depending on what reason you give, you may be selfish. It may be a selfish reason or a stupid reason. But no, it's so much deeper than that for certain people that don't want to get vaccinated. I'm not vaccinated. I'm not doing it for selfish reasons or stupid reasons. I'm not vaccinated. But like I said, my one boy, he literally popped up the other day because he likes to travel and ski. And they've just put something out to say all ski resorts around the world are no longer going to allow people to go there and ski if they're unvaccinated. And this is where it doesn't make sense. If you're unvaccinated, but have had COVID within the last year and can prove it, you're fine to go skiing. So if you're unvaccinated, but you've had COVID within the past year, you're fine to go skiing. If you're unvaccinated and you haven't had COVID, you can't go skiing. Them's the rules. Them is the rules. So now in Austria, again, they did this over here. And no one kicked up a fuss about this. I thought this would have been a bigger thing. But they literally came out and was like, yo, if you're not vaccinated, you won't be able to go to festivals. You won't be able to go to nightclubs, pubs. You won't be able to go out. You won't be able to go out and enjoy things like that. Again, we know why they did this, because the majority of unvaccinated people are the younger generation. So they did this thinking, let's hit them where it hurts. I'm assuming they must have hit a certain quota. They must have been like, look, we need to get 40% of these unvaccinated 18 to 20, 30-year-olds vaccinated. They did that, and then 3-4 weeks later, they were like, yeah, the vaccine passport, we're not going to do it. You can go clubbing if you're unvaccinated. They literally put something out and said, if you're not vaccinated, you can't do this. That directly influenced a bunch of people to get vaccinated, only for them to come out and say a few weeks later, yeah, you don't need to be vaccinated to do all this stuff. I'm telling you, something's going to happen. And you give it a year or two, and I guarantee vaccinations aren't going to be a thing, or vaccinations not going to be something that people care about. I can see it now. In a year to two's time, the vaccination thing, and they're going to come out with, with thanks to people getting vaccinated, the COVID strain has been weakened and it can't battle the immune system, so now we're no longer requiring or expect anyone to be vaccinated to do all these certain things. It's either that's going to happen, it's going to be one or two ends of the stick for me. It's either going to be 2 years' time, this whole thing would have been forgotten. Some people will be vaccinated, some people won't be vaccinated, but it won't stop you or hold you for anything. It might affect health insurance, but apart from that, you'll be able to travel the world like you did before, get jobs wherever you want to do like you did before. In 2 years' time, that's what I reckon. Whether you're vaccinated or not, that's what I think is going to happen. At some point, they're just going to stop talking. They're not going to say don't get vaccinated. They will just stop talking about vaccination, stop talking about vaccination, stop forcing and pushing the vaccination agenda out there, and they'll just let it go. Or everyone's going to follow suit like Austria, and they're just going to lock it down more. They're not going to say you have to get vaccinated. They're just going to keep adding more and more rules and restrictions to the point where if you're unvaccinated, you won't even be able to leave your house, and you've probably got to pay tax for breathing air and sharing it with everyone else. Going one of those two ways. And talking about forcing the vaccination agenda on people, Tesco's Christmas advert has become the most complained about advert this year. Why? It's because the Tesco advert featured a scene with Santa Claus in the airport. Santa Claus goes to board a flight. He gets told that he can't board the flight through such and such reasons. And then he pulls out his phone where he has a COVID-19 vaccination pass. Again, Santa was being threatened with the prospect of quarantine. Luckily, he shows a COVID pass to the border guard at the airport, meaning he can keep going with his travel plans and deliver presents around the world. This part of the advert was met with fierce criticism, with some going as far as launching a boycott Tesco campaign on social media in response to the Yuletide clip. Yo, everyone is caught. Everyone gets you can't call for boycotts anymore. I feel like someone calls for a boycott once a week, to the point where, what does a boycott even mean? Does anyone even get involved in it? There's literally a boycott Tesco campaign right here. And even though I don't agree with what they did in the advert, as soon as I finish this podcast, I plan to go to Tesco because they currently have 25% off clothing. And I need to go and buy some Christmas presents for people. And they happen to like the clothes at Tesco, so... Sorry, boycott, but I need to go take advantage of that 25%. Yeah, I see what they're doing. Santa travels around the world. They're trying to be current. I know the government's pushing the agenda of everyone should be vaccinated. Depending on who, again, I've spoke about algorithms and how they work before. Depending on your social media following, you might follow. Everyone involved in this project might be pro-vaccination. They all might be vaccinated. So all they're seeing is 80 to 85% of the UK is vaccinated. Oh, people are going to love this. Give Santa a little vaccine passport. It's cute. It inspires the children to want to get vaccinated. Bish, bash, bosh. There you go. On the other hand, yeah, don't bring your political shit into my advert. Now, I know what I sound like. I sound like the people that complained last year that there wasn't enough white people in these adverts. I'm assuming that I sound like the people that complained that the gay couple or a same-sex couple that appeared in some of these Christmas adverts. Yo, being gay is a normal way of life. If someone wants to be like, I don't know the percentage, but gay people exist. Gay people celebrate Christmas. So having gay people or same-sex couples, whatever you want to call them, in a Christmas advert, to me, it's not offensive. To me, I don't feel like you're pushing an agenda. For all I know, the director of that advert might be gay and say, you know what, I'm gay. This is how we do Christmas. I'm putting it in the advert. Someone like Sainsbury's, Sainsbury's deliberately went out and got different Christmas adverts. They had like a whole campaign where it was a different Christmas advert each week of a different type of family. One week was a black family. One week I think had the same sex. One week there was a white one. Next week there was a mixed one. Oh, and people still complain like that doesn't look like that doesn't look like a British Christmas. Shut up. Suck my dick. Okay, how about that? Racist piece of tangent, Miles. You are on a tangent. Jumping back off that tangent. Yeah, Santa Claus doesn't need a passport, okay? The whole point of how Santa travels, again, they think they're smart. The whole point of Santa is he has his sleigh and his reindeer and just flies around the country. No child's going to believe Santa has to get on the plane. The point you put in this, I'm not going to call it propaganda. I am going to call it an agenda, though. This agenda shit in here. Oh, it's just annoying. It's just so annoying. I'm sick and tired of it. I can't wait. Listen, I can't wait for 2 years' time when this is, I'm not even gonna, when it's all forgotten and vaccines aren't important and COVID's a documentary on Netflix and we're all like, fucking hell, remember how serious everyone took that? I'm not gonna look at people and say, I told you so. I'm not gonna make videos calling people that are vaccinated stupid sheeple like I've seen already. No, I won't be doing any of that. I'm gonna just sit back and mind my business and think to myself, I hope everyone remembers this for the next one. Because I feel like Ebola was a failed attempt. I feel like the Zika virus was a failed attempt. I feel like, what was the ones with the cat foot and mouth, cow and foot and cow? Whatever that meat one was, swine flu, bird flu, all these, I'm just sick and tired of it. And you know why? You know what? This isn't why I'm sick and tired of it, but this story came right after I found that Santa COVID one. Rare case of a woman's body ridding itself of HIV. It sounds exactly what I just said. So a woman from Argentina appears to have rid herself of HIV without any drugs or treatment. This is the second documented case of its kind in the world. So doctors believe the patient's immune system cleared the virus on its own. Tests on more than 1 billion of her cells found no viable trace of the infection. Archives internal medicine reports. If this process could be harnessed, it might offer a way to wipe out or effectively cure HIV, they say. So when you're out there and you flick through social media or you talk to some normally vegans, CrossFit people, health addicts out there, some doctors, they will tell you, yo, your body has everything it needs to fight off all of these diseases. Sometimes, like, some bodies fight off diseases quicker than other bodies, but everyone's body has the ability to fight it off. Now, I'm not saying if you have HIV, don't take drugs or treatment and just let your body do it. That is, no, don't do that. I wouldn't advise that. I'm just saying the human body is amazing, and this story shows that there is a chance that your body can fight off certain things like this. It says here, most people with HIV need long life antiretroviral, I don't know what that is, antiretroviral therapy, and if they stop taking these drugs, the dormant virus can reawaken and cause problems again. In recent years, however, there have been reports of elite controllers who can suppress the virus with help, but no HIV medication. Adam from London was able to stop taking his daily HIV pills after receiving a donor stem cell treatment for a cancer he also had. His HIV-infected cells were wiped out and replaced during the cancer therapy. Jesus. And his donor was one of the 1% of people born with genes that prevent HIV from entering and infecting cells. It's unclear how long this advantage might last for Adam, however. I did not know that. 1% of people out there are, but I'm surprised the government hasn't found these people and farmed them to try and extract all their DNA to cure HIV. But then again, if they cured HIV, the pharmaceutical industry would probably lose trillions of dollars that they make off all of these treatments. I don't know why people don't see that. I genuinely believe that every disease we have out there, or I genuinely believe at least 90 to 95% of the diseases we have out there, there is a cure. Now, whether someone has found that cure and it's locked up somewhere to never be used until it gets too bad or the wrong person gets it, or whether it's a cure that only certain people get their hands on, I don't know. But I would stake my house on it that 90 to 95% of diseases out there have a cure, or they know how to cure it. But as an industry, when you're making trillions and trillions of dollars every year from people getting sick, it doesn't make sense making the cure, does it? Because it's not like someone's going to say, oh my God, you've created the cure. Here's $10 trillion for this one cure, for this one disease. You never have to work again for the rest of your life. No, the pharmaceutical industry is literally an industry that runs on drugs, legal drugs. They run on drugs. The pharmaceutical industry makes money off people being sick. Why would they cure people of being sick? I'm not going to go on a conspiracy here. I'm just asking you a question. If the pharmaceutical industry makes trillions of dollars every year from people being sick, why would those same people cure the sick? I'll leave that there. I will leave that there. What else happened? Amazon. This is two things that happened that are sort of in the financial sector that when I saw them happen, well, I saw one happen and I got told about the other one and I was like, excuse me? So the first one is Staples Center in Los Angeles. Staples Center is probably, I think it might be like the biggest stadium in LA. It's where the Clippers and the Golden State Warriors, the basketball teams, that's where they play. The Staples Arena is probably one of the most famous arenas in America. Like if you go to New York, you've got Madison Square Garden. If you go to LA, you have the Staples Center. It's like coming to England and you've got Wembley. Or going to London, you've got Wembley. Going to Manchester, you've got Old Trafford. You know I'm going with this. The Staples Center in Los Angeles is to be renamed Crypto.com Arena. The deal is worth $700 million to rebrand the 20,000 seat venue. Comes as digital coins gain wider acceptance. Crypto is something I really want to talk about. Preferably with someone that knows what they're talking about. But listen, crypto is one of these things where I heard about Bitcoin years and years ago, but I always associated Bitcoin with the dark web. I watch documentaries, you know me, I watch stuff. I knew that people were on the dark web and they were spending Bitcoin to make these purchases because it was, back then I just took it as it's untraceable, so there's no link to your Bitcoin and the person who owns said Bitcoin, which is how you get away with these transitions on the web. Recent years, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general has been on the up and up. Everywhere you look, there are NFTs are a massive thing now. Facebook, Twitter, a whole lot of businesses and countries currently have national cryptocurrencies out there. And now the Staples Center has changed their name to Crypto.com Arena. And I feel like crypto, I feel like I need to be involved with crypto. It's one of these things where when you hear about it, it sounds too good to be true, but it also sounds very confusing. And when I put too good to be true and confusing together, I just confuse myself even more. And also dealing with crypto, there's a mindset to it. I think people, again, I'm one of them. You see all these memes, you hear people talking about it. Bitcoin's worth $68,000. I can't afford to buy Bitcoin. How much Bitcoin do you have? What about if I want to buy one Bitcoin? Do I need $68,000? All these things are confusing me. That's not the case. But like I said, I'll do a crypto episode. I'm going to find people that know about crypto. Otherwise, it's just going to be me sitting here guessing and incorrectly spouting things that I read on the internet. But at least I'm honest. But yeah, before we wrap up this episode of the Miles High Club podcast, let's jump onto What's on the Box, the weekly segment where I talk about what new TV shows, movies, and trailers I have been watching. I spoke about this the other week. I said no one was asking for a Home Alone remake. I said no one was asking for a new Home Alone film. I said no one wanted a new Home Alone film. I would also go as far as to think I don't even think anyone out there was thinking about the idea of possibly having another Home Alone film. This is the Home Sweet Home Alone review. Available on Disney Plus. That's the only reason I watched it. I was not going to the cinema to pay for this. It was on Disney Plus. I watched it. I want to give it 0 out of 5. But I'll give it 1 out of 5 because it was a movie that played from start to finish. That's the only reason it gets 1 out of 5. This is there are films out there that are so bad you generally forget you've watched it and you don't remember anything from it and you're just like, yeah. And then there are other movies that are that bad that they actively piss you off. This was one of them. So the story was shit. It was just a crappy repeat of the first one. Yeah, the writing, the story, whatever you want to call it, it was pants, it was lazy. It was pretty much a modern rehash of the first movie. You have a little kid who is walking around a massive house that is full of people running around, making noise, causing nuisance. There's even a scene where there's pizza and lots of pizza gets delivered. Also, the story is, so this is the story. A kid and a mom are meant to be flying to Japan for Christmas. They're driving home. On the way home, the boy needs a toilet. The woman pulls up outside an open house and she's like, oh, there's an open house there. Let's pretend I'm buying a house so they let you use the toilet. This kid is an arsehole. He's a dickhead, a prick, a twat, whatever the negative word you want to call him. He is that. He goes into this person's house. He's immediately rude to one of the homeowners. He starts then taking the piss out of one of the homeowners. This kid is not likable in the slightest. And the way the movie then positions yourself, not only does he insult and piss off the homeowner, he then, the film makes it out like he steals from the homeowner after mocking him. That's that. I'm just gonna keep going. Like I said, the main kid isn't likable in the slightest. Neither is his mom. Now, I don't know if it's because they have posh tooty British accents and that just I don't know. I don't normally have anything against that accent, but there is something about that accent surrounded by a bunch of Americans. No offense to the actor that plays the kid. He looks annoying. Like, he looks like a knobhead. He looks like a kid that you just want to punch right in the face. He looks like that. He sounds like that. He acts like that. There is nothing likable or redeemable about this child in the slightest. The bad guys aren't really bad guys, so you're not rooting for them to lose. In the first two Harry Potters, in the first two Home Alones, Harry and Marv, burglars, detestable. You don't like them because they are breaking the law and they are picking on this child who is by himself, so you dislike them for it. The bad guys, the burglars in this are just two people, a teacher and a data specialist, parents of two children who have fallen upon hard times. They're running out of money and they are trying to sell their house. The man owns a doll. The doll's worth apparently $200,000. He sees them. Some woman, the kid's mom's like, oh, those dolls are meant to be really expensive. He walks off. It appears to be the kid that steals the doll. He looks online, finds out the doll is worth $200,000, goes back to find the doll, can't find the doll, and is like, that kid. He then proceeds to try and get the doll back. They're not bad guys. They are literally not bad guys. What else have I got? I put the shitty twist at the end. Guess what? The annoying kid didn't steal the doll. The two main characters, Pam and Jeff. Only reason I know their name is Pam and Jeff because I can think of The Office and Ellie Kemper's in The Office and they're called Pam and Jeff. When you read the reviews for this movie, majority of the reviews are like, I don't remember this person's name. I don't remember. No one remembered anything about this movie because it's fucking pants. The twist at the end is the main guy's brother who came over to stay with his wife and kid. It's his kid that took the doll. And they never knew that, and it was just, oh my god. The writing's bad. It's not believable for a teacher and a data specialist to be tricked so easily by a child. Ellie Kemper, nothing against Ellie Kemper. Ellie Kemper is playing Ellie Kemper in this role. She's playing the same person she plays in Office. She's playing the same dumb ditzy person she plays in Kimmy Schmidt. It's just, pick a new lane and go down that one. I didn't need this from her. And she's meant to be a teacher. She is not believable as a teacher, nor is she believable as a successful parent. And this goes for the dad who's a data specialist as well. He's just a fucking goof. He's an even bigger, he's not a lovable goof or a dorky goof. He's just a goof. I've already put this about Ellie Kemper not being Ellie Kemper and it doesn't work. I don't know what you want to say about Home Sweet Home Alone. It's pants. It's pants. The best thing about it actually is Buzz McAllister from the original Home Alone. He's a police officer in it. He gets called to a house because the little kid rings them to say that there's burglars. And the one little smart nugget they put in there is Buzz is like, no, ignore it. It's my brother Kevin. 20-something years ago, we all went on holiday and we left him behind twice. So now every year at Christmas, he calls in a prank call to make sure I don't forget. Thought that was a great little nugget. They sneak in some of the original Home Alone music. That doesn't help it. The pranks. One prank is a guy gets knocked out. The kid puts a VR headset on him, and then when he wakes up, he thinks he's stood on a mountain. Like, I've used a VR before. They're not that realistic. One, you'd feel something on your head. Two, there were no headphones, so you would hear silence instead of hearing what you would hear if you were naturally out there. Moving. 1 out of 5. Don't watch it. Don't even watch the trailer. 1 out of 5. And lastly, Red Notice. I watched Red Notice. Red Notice it's a good film. Red Notice is a nice, good film to just sit there and watch. The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot star in it, which I think... Sorry, I'm just currently at work. Working from home. So I've just got to sort a few things out while I'm doing this. But yeah, Red Notice. Who would have thought the trio of The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot would have worked? But it worked. It's a heist movie. I love heist movies. There's twists everywhere. The Rock is The Rock in it. He's great. Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds in it. He's great. Gal Gadot is Gal Gadot, and she's great. There's a twist. Oh my God. The Rock's an FBI agent. He's tracking down Ryan Reynolds. They end up having to work together to track down Gal Gadot. Shock twist. The Rock and Gal Gadot are actually partners and work together. And then, shock twist, Ryan Reynolds gets his own back on them and they have to listen, they set it up like the way they ended the film ended. They could do a Red Notice 2. I would be here for it. It's a fun, enjoyable movie just to whack on. It's on Netflix. Just whack it on an evening. Fun, enjoyable movie to watch. Couple of hours. Bish, bash, bosh. There you go. But that brings me to the end of another episode of the Miles High Club podcast. If you've made it this far, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Like, share. Drop me a comment. I was going to say, let me know if you've seen the Home Alone. I don't care if you have. I don't want to know anything else. As soon as I finish this recording, I never want to think about that Home Alone movie ever again. That's what it's done to me. I've been Miles. You've been listening. Until the next time. Peace.